Creatine has been proven by strong studies to be the best and one of the safest supplements when it comes to building muscle. It's one of the most effective supplements that you can use since it helps you gain muscle and strength faster, thus performing higher volumes at the gym as well as boost anabolic hormones. Well, if you want to learn how to grow muscle with creatine, then this video is for you because in today's video, we're going to cover how to use creatine for high efficiency and muscle growth. So stay tuned. Now, firstly, let's understand what is creatine and how it works. Creatine is a power source substance that we naturally produce in our bodies that we use up within the first plus or minus 10 seconds of an intense activity such as a heavyweight bench press. This is because our main source of energy is ATP, and phosphocreatine is formed when we consume creatine, which essentially helps form ADP, thus generating enough energy for muscle contraction. This is known as the phosphagen energy system, which is why creatine boosts the first couple of moments during an intense short exercise. Since it's a small tripartite produced in your body, it's not an unnatural synthetic compound, since your body already produces it naturally. In short, the more the creatine saturation in your muscles, the more the phosphocreatine. That means more energy, more strength, and more muscle. Creatine can also be found in meat like beef and fish, of which you can eat in order to boost your creatine levels. However, going through that route will ultimately be difficult and take longer because in order to eat the meat, you'll have to cook it, and cooking it dissolves the natural creatine molecules in the meat, hence the need to supplement it. Types of creatine. There are different types of creatine, but the true tried and most studied creatine is creatine monohydrate, which is the least expensive. Although other forms of creatine claim to increase absorbability and reduce the side effects of using creatine monohydrate, they are more expensive, and if a company promises better results and to be in effect quicker since their creatine absorbs faster, that's likely not true since the effect of creatine build up over weeks. Anything promising better effects in a short period than that, I don't think so. As long as you are consuming enough creatine daily, it will absorb into your muscles just fine and you'll get the results you want, provided that you apply the right intensity and volume during your workouts. Will creatine work for me? In as much as creatine is effective, not everyone responds well to the supplement. For one, a study from Sports Medicine and Fitness shows the differences in the effectiveness of creatine between men and women, making it evident that creatine is more effective on male than female athletes. However, there are some studies that show that not only does creatine have less effect on females, but there are male individuals that may not be responsive to creatine at all, meaning you can consume creatine and still see no results. Since creatine has to saturate your muscle fibers, and acknowledging the different types of muscle fibers, you have type 2 muscle fibers, which are fast twitch muscle fibers, as in they fire more quickly and are recruited for activities that require more intensity. And non-responders have a low percentage of type 2 muscle fibers, whereas responders have a high percentage of type 2 muscle fibers. The only way to find out if it works for you is if you try it out and study how your body responds after a couple of weeks to a few months. How much creatine should you take each day? Based on studies, athletes that were taking in 1 to 2 grams of creatine yielded in no results even for 6 months to a year of consumption, whereas taking in 3 grams of creatine, which is 0.03 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, proved to significantly boost the results in performance of most lifters, more than the ones taking in 5 grams per day, which is what's usually recommended by companies. So to save money, you would want to stick to consuming 0.03 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, meaning if you weigh 165 pounds, you would need around 2.2 grams of creatine per day, which is almost about half of what's usually common. Besides, taking in more creatine once your muscles have been saturated with creatine will only end up being flushed down the toilet, since your kidneys will filter this out. And seeing how long it takes for creatine to fully saturate your muscles after you start taking it for the first time, which is a long time, in order to speed up the results, you can then increase the dosage in different types of protocols. You have the loading protocol and the non-loading protocol. Studies show that it's essential to also do a loading phase when starting with your creatine consumption to fully saturate your muscles, where you take 20 to 25 grams of creatine per day, having divided the dosage into 5 grams 4 times each day for about 5 to 7 days. Then afterwards, you shift to taking in 3 to 5 grams of creatine. This is the loading phase. This is so you avoid any stomach issues due to taking such large quantities of creatine at once. Another way to properly saturate your muscles with creatine is to take in 3 to 5 grams of creatine from the get-go. But this will obviously take longer to saturate your muscles, and with the first method, the results will be quicker since it increases your creatine stores faster, even though both of these protocols get you to the same end result in terms of creatine muscle saturation. When to take it? Now, there's usually a debate and questions as to whether to take creatine before or after your workout. Well, even though multiple studies showed different results, with some saying before and others saying after the workout, some even suggesting no difference as to taking it before or after the workout, there is a study by Forbes and Colleens that suggested taking it after the workout does lead to greater benefits. So best take it post-workout, within close proximity of your workout. What to take it with? Although we spoke about how you can use loading to speed up creatine saturation, you can speed up the absorption of creatine into your muscles even faster when taking it with carbs and protein. Studies show that taking in creatine with either carbs or protein and carbs can create greater creatine retention in your muscles than just taking in creatine alone, which means you can even reduce the time it will take for creatine to saturate or maximize creatine stores in your muscles from a week to about 2 to 3 days. Just simply add creatine to your protein shake with some table sugars for carbs, then you're good to go. However, you do need to keep in mind that you can only take creatine for so long till your creatine stores are full. After you maximize your creatine stores, whether you load creatine or not, with or without carbs and protein, any more creatine you take in beyond maintenance level will just be flushed down the toilet. At this point, all you have to do is maintain the current heightened creatine stores with doses of 3 to 5 grams per day, or as we've said earlier, 0.03 grams multiplied by your body weight. You can then take it with whatever beverage you prefer at this point, and as long as you stay consistent, your muscles will remain saturated with creatine. Is creatine safe? There are a lot of concerns as to whether creatine is harmful or not. Well, there are multiple studies that were carried out to answer this. One study shows that there's no harm from taking in creatine, even if it's up to a couple of years. And to those concerned about dehydration or cramping when taking in creatine, well, a study shows that taking in creatine does not appear to increase any forms of injury or cramping. And as to dehydration, well, creatine will surely increase intramuscular hydration. And to be on the safe side, it's best to increase your water intake during the course of taking in creatine. However, studies show no harmful effects, even for those concerned with it affecting your kidneys. In fact, creatine is rather beneficial to help prevent injuries. Lastly, will creatine cause hair loss? Creatine does increase DHT in men, which is a hormone that causes hair to fall out faster, at least as suggested by one study. But this was only a single study pointing it out that was carried on rugby athletes. meaning more research would have to be carried out in order to fully confirm this. In fact, a study from Hawkins and Carlines shows that DHT in men increases naturally when exercising. So this cannot fully prove the effects of hair loss due to taking in creatine. That's it, guys. All you need to know about creatine. If you found this video helpful and are looking for more content on building muscle or weight loss, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and remain posted when new content is released. Thanks for watching. See you again on the next video.